Hi, I'm John, and this is the fifth update to my Commodore 64 operating system project. I have a few more things I want to show you. First, I'd like to thank again for the great interest and the many subscribers I have gotten. I hope I can keep you all satisfied with some updates once a week, perhaps, I hope. So I get a couple of questions, like is it running on a stock 1 MHz Commodore 64? And yes, there's nothing special about it. It's a standard Commodore 64. I often get asked about when can we download it, and you can download it when I feel it's ready for being used, because in the present state it's not very useful. Will it be free and open source? I commented this a couple of times that I think that it will be free, but I'm not so sure about being open source in the beginning, because I don't want the 5 different versions of the operating system and none of them compatible. So I prefer to hold it a bit longer before I choose to release it completely. And I get a lot of questions about supporting all kinds of hardware devices, and I'm trying to add support for more, but a lot of this hardware I don't have, so I usually have to test them in an emulator and then see if I can get it working there first. A lot of other things I get asked about, and some I'm not ready to talk about right now, but we'll see. But anyway, let's start it up and see what's changed. So you notice that there is no detection of devices. That's because I'm now running with TrueDrive emulation off, and so the I/O operations will be faster now than it actually is. One of the reasons for this is that I have a bug where I'm trying to go between kernel I/O and the fast loader I/O, and somewhere it trips itself up, so it locks up. So I need to figure out how to clear out the drive when I'm going in and out of the kernel routines. So let's mount up some disks. I can mount up these applications, and I'm going to mount up a blank disk this time. So here is a disk in drive 8, and here is a disk in drive 9. And the thing that I've been working on this past week is the support for drag and drop. And that's like an important feature of many operating systems, is the ability to drag and drop or copy and paste between windows. So at the moment I don't have keyboard support for copy paste, but I can open this notes application here, and I can take this file, which is a text document, and I can drag it. You can see I get this drag icon, this drag mouse pointer now. If I let it here, it loads the document. So this is one of the uses for this, of course, but of course another more important use is that I can take, for example, that notes application, I can drag it over here, I can release it here, and it's copied over to the other disk. So now it copied from drive 8 to drive 9. Of course it happened very fast now because of TrueDrive emulation is turned off. And of course I can now run the application from that drive, so it works just like it would. I've also made it so that you can actually, if you take a file here and drop it here and it doesn't support it, it will just type the name of the file. So the drop target is actually responsible for figuring out what kind of object it's being dropped over, or it's being dropped on. So that makes it possible for application to support different types of files if they want to do that and behave differently based on that. But of course the most important thing is to be able to copy stuff over. And to demonstrate that this works easily, I can just let's open the SID player, for example, and I can take well, let's open it from the memory drive actually, because I want to mount a different disk on drive 8. I want to start some of these big count applications that I just made, just to show that the multitasking is running fine, even though I'm doing I/O operations and copying and stuff. So if I now mount a different disk, I can mount, for instance, this music disk, and I can take the open it again, and I have some songs here I can open. I can open this Scottland song, which I kind of like. I think Hein Holt is pretty good with the SID. He has all kind of cool sounds he makes. So like this crazy didgeridoo sound, out of this world. Who would have known the SID could make sounds like this, right? But anyway, you can play music and then you can take another song here and I can copy it over. It copies it over in the background and refreshes the I can of course close this, and I can double click here and open the music from that song instead. So it's working out pretty well. I'm actually using standard kernel functions now for saving. I've been trying to work on figuring out how to do this in a fast loader, because one problem with the kernel functions is that they actually interrupt the execution, because a lot of the functions needs to disable interrupts. So if they disable interrupts, then I'm not able to, for example, play music at a certain raster point, and you will have stuttering in the music. But if I use the fast loader, it's smooth. There is no interruptions at all. So, but as I said, I had problems going between one without fast loader and one with. And when I did the save operations, I used the kernel operation, so it switched over to the kernel driver, and then I'm trying to switch back to the fast loader again, and something failed, so I was unable to fix that. I was also hoping to demonstrate something else, and maybe some people guessed here there is another drive here, but for those who wonder about that, I can save that for next week, because I had some problems with that too, maybe related to this other thing. So I think I'll take that then. So that's actually all I have to show this time. It's an important feature, at least, to be able to copy between devices. So when that's in place, I can start with some more other I/O features, like renaming files, and another interesting one I hope to finish by next week. If you have any questions, you can just type them in the comments below, and I'll try to reply on some of them, and some I'll include in the next video.